An event that is 25 years in the making. The Raptors go up 3-0 in a playoff series. And are they going to be able to continue in this vein for the rest of the playoffs? Let's get into it. Welcome to Amateur Hour Sports, where we just hit 300 subscribers. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed, who is watching the videos, and if you're watching this video, thank you. Let's get into the video where we're talking about the Raptors going for the sweep tomorrow, Sunday. The Raptors go for the sweep over the Brooklyn Nets. I think there is no indication as to why they will not get the sweep after all these players have been opting out of playing for Brooklyn. I mean, they kept it close in game 2 with an already depleted lineup, and then Joe Harris leaves the bubble and makes it even harder for Brooklyn to stay in this series. But the 3-0 lead, something that has been so elusive for the franchise over its entire history. I mean, there was the 2 years ago. We were playing the Wizards. We were up 2-0, and then we think maybe we can go up 3-0 for the first time, and all of a sudden, it's 2-2. The Raptors eventually won that series in 6, but still, we didn't need those jitters. The Raptors like making things difficult for themselves, and we see this here. I mean, before this season, they were 1-11 all-time in first-round game ones. It's no wonder that they didn't have a 3-0 lead, because the first round is the easy one. The second round gets hard. You can't go up 3-0 in the second round unless you're an absolutely god-tier team. So the Raptors, that was their only ever Game 1 win in the first round up until this year against the Wizards. They blow Game 3, they blow Game 4, but win Game 5 and 6. So that's fine. Last year was the quickest they have ever advanced out of the first round, and go figure, they go on to win an NBA championship. Now, I'm not saying that just because they're doing well in the first round means they're going to go on to win a championship, but there's something to be said about not really exerting your full self in a first round series. You want to be sharp and fresh for that second round series, and it's just going to continue on for the rest of the playoffs. You want your guys fit and fresh to play in every single playoff series, and going up 3-0 and going for the sweep against the Brooklyn Nets will allow that to happen, especially a team as injury prone as the Raptors, where all of Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol, and Pascal Siakam have missed over 10 games this season, and it is great to see a fully healthy Fred VanVleet continue to dominate the bubble even into the playoffs. Yesterday, he shot 6 for 10 from 3. Every time this guy takes a 3, it seems like it's going in, even when he's 3/4 of the court away from the basket, hitting that ridiculous buzzer beater. Fred VanVleet has assumed a primary offensive role in the playoffs, and I love to see it. It's his contract year, which scares me because the Raptors got to pay this man. You got to keep this guy on your team. What he brings to you offensively and what he brings to you defensively. Pascal Siakam is starting to get it going. Serge Ibaka is finding his flow. He found it yesterday for sure. He was really into that game with 20 points. Norman Powell is starting to find his flow. Kyle Lowry, though he's not the focal point on offense at the moment, is still hitting some big shots and being a key factor all over the court, offense and defense. The Raptors are fun to watch. They are playing very well. 3-0 in the series. I mean, it's unbelievable that a team who won an NBA championship last year had never gone up 3-0 in a series. The only other two teams in the NBA who have never gone up 3-0 are the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Clippers. Unbelievable. Only two other teams had never done the 3-0, but Raptors have something that those two teams do not, which is an NBA championship. Obviously, a lot of the reason they're up 3-0 is because the Brooklyn Nets are so depleted, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and I will definitely take going up 3-0 here. I originally said the Raps would win this in 5, but after Joe Harris left, I've been all in on the sweep, especially the fact that the Brooklyn Nets have to start Tyler Johnson. I mean, Tyler Johnson had an uncharacteristically elite night or elite game yesterday for the Brooklyn Nets. This guy was lights out in the second half. That is something I have never, ever seen from Tyler Johnson. That was unbelievable. He couldn't miss in the third quarter. It was unfathomable. The fact I make fun of this guy so much and he was doing that. I mean, still, The fact that Brooklyn Nets had to start a guy who got cut by the Phoenix Suns, the Raptors are going to win this series in 4. There's no indication why that isn't going to happen. I think that the Raptors need to start game 4 well, start it well, and then start to get some bench pieces in to give the starters some rest. Because Boston looks like they're going to win that series in 4 over the Sixers. I mean, the Sixers are so mismanaged at the moment. Joel Embiid didn't have a great game in game 3, but goddamn Sixers. You were up 94-92 and you lost 102-94. The game was there. You guys clawed all the way back to take a late lead in that game, and you throw it all away. And you, by that margin as well. Come on, you got to hit your shots down the stretch. No indication that the Sixers are going to win a game in that series. So, Celtics will come into the series hot. The Toronto Raptors are coming into the series hot, and we have an absolute duel between these two teams. But before we get there, obviously, we do have to win the game Sunday. The Raptors get a night game. What's a night game? The Raptors get a night game, or maybe we actually aren't busy. We can actually watch the full game. I've been able to watch every game, but maybe the same can't be said for everybody. I'm very excited to watch that game. I think the Raptors need to just finish off the series. I mean, all the indications from the Brooklyn bench, from everybody, are that the series is over. Everybody understands that this series is over. You look on the face of the Brooklyn players, the Brooklyn coaches, you look at any sort of NBA analyst, they understand that this series is over. This series does not go beyond 5 games. Maybe, I don't think so, but maybe Brooklyn pull out a shock game for victory, but that's a lot of people on the Brooklyn Nets who are already thinking about that flight home going back, because it ain't happening. Raptors are going up in 4. In that game 3, just to touch on it, Raptors have elite offense throughout and elite defense. Brooklyn only scored 92 points. This is a team in the bubble who has thrived off scoring a lot of points, but that's hard to do when you don't have shooters. I never really recognized how bad Garrett Temple was until this series. This guy is ice cold. I think he went 1 for 9 from 3 in game 3. He was talking a lot for a guy who went 2 for 12 in the entire game. Luwawu Cabarrot had a freak game in game 1 because he was quite abysmal in game 3. 3 for 18 from the field. Karis LeVert, he had a bad game 2 and followed it up with a bad game 3. 6 for 14 from the field. This is the guy I was supposed to be worried about going into this series. From what I see, I'm not worried. Fred VanVleet is doing a decent job guarding this guy. Jared Allen played 30 minutes and didn't register a field goal attempt. The center on the Brooklyn Nets did not register a field goal attempt in 32 minutes. This Raptors defense is unfreaking believable. 0 field goal attempts for the Brooklyn starting big. 32 minutes. The Raptors are just absolute brick walls on defense, holding this Brooklyn team to 92 points. The Raptors recognize, I can see it. This is not an indication of how the rest of the playoffs are going to go. They know this is just one they got to coast through. Next round against the Celtics, that's where shit starts to happen. That's where everything starts to get serious, because we know how good the Celtics are. They showed it against us in the bubble when they absolutely thrashed us. I don't think we're going to see a repeat of that, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. For now, we focus on what the Raptors have been doing so well. Everything has been going right on offense. They are not forcing the offensive possessions anymore. They are allowing the guys who are hot to hit their shots, like Ibaka yesterday, like Fred VanVleet yesterday. They are running a fluid offense, which is very nice to see. They're always hitting that extra pass. They're not forcing things anymore like they were in some of the games, in the play-in games, those 8 games in the bubble before the playoffs. They're not forcing possessions anymore. They are just going about their offense the way they know how, and they are playing much better defense in the process. Back-to-back games, keeping Brooklyn under 100 points. You just got to really test the way you play the game in game 4. Go about it properly. Go out to an early lead, I think. Don't start slow. Don't make it a game unnecessarily. Go out and start the game well. Get some other players in. Work on your sets. It was nice seeing Terrence Davis get quite a few minutes in game 3 to find his form. He went 4 for 5 from the field. I think he made a couple stupid plays, but a rookie, he's going to make some mistakes. Let's get it out in the first round, but getting some confidence, went 4 for 5, like I said, and it's good because he can be a difference maker in some games. You saw it in game 2 when he came on the court. He changed a bit of the momentum in the game, which allowed the Raptors to start that comeback and start to take the lead in the game, take control of the outcome of the game. Brooklyn, this is not the Brooklyn team we're going to see next year. Who really knows who's going to be back for Brooklyn? I don't know if they're going to be able to pay Joe Harris. It depends who Kyrie and KD want around. They're going to have a different coach. This is not the Brooklyn team that's going to be there next year, but this Brooklyn team right now, the Brooklyn team I'm seeing the Raptors play belongs in the G League. There's a lot of guys there. Like, there's a guy, Justin Anderson, who actually was on the Raptors G League team earlier in the year, but Brooklyn needed players so bad that they decided to sub in Justin Anderson just so he could get a technical foul and get subbed off. Props to you, Brooklyn. Rodion Kurucs as well. That guy belongs in the G League. That is one of the worst defenders I have ever seen in my life. The only time he scores when the Raptors make a mistake and he can get an easy dunk at the rim. Not much else to talk about. The Raptors are coasting through this series. This is exactly what we wanted. The Raptors not exerting too much energy, just going about their game. They're playing proper basketball on offense, playing proper basketball on defense. They are looking good for the second round. Let's not make it difficult. Let's wipe out Brooklyn in 4. Move on. Focus on the Celtics. That wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching if you are still here. Like I said, the channel just hit 300 subscribers. That is a mark I am very happy to hit before the end of the summer when I go back to school. Videos will still continue as I'm back at school, but I'm very happy to have hit that number. You know, let's keep the train rolling. If you really rock with the channel, please make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content. The Raptors are running through the playoffs at the moment. 4 videos a week talking about the NBA and pretty much all on the Raptors at the moment. Hit that notification bell as well to stay up to date with all those videos that's coming out. But like this video if you like. At the end of the day, I believe what I say. If you disagree, that is okay. We will see you again next time.